We're back in Haarlem. Last week, someone left a comment on our Haarlem video from 2 years ago and said, you guys should really redo your day in Haarlem. Yeah, we read the comments.
So far this year, we've already filmed do-over vlogs in Nijmegen, Amersfoort, and Antwerp, and honestly, Haarlem might have been one of our worst. But it's an amazing city, and it's also one of the best places to eat in the Netherlands. So in addition to seeing two places that it's honestly crazy we didn't see our first time here, we're going back to one of our favorite restaurants in the Netherlands for an absolutely mouth-watering sandwich, and visiting a snack bar with 4.9 stars and over 900 reviews. That's crazy.
There were two things that we didn't do in our first Haarlem video that, looking back, was totally nuts. Like this, the Tailors Museum. It's the oldest museum in the Netherlands. It opened in 1784, and lucky for us, we get to explore it for free today with our museum cards. Not sponsored, but call us Museum Cart.
Peter Taylor van der Hulst was a wealthy Haarlem resident with a passion for knowledge, and when he died, he left his fortune and his collection to create this museum dedicated to science and art. Today, the museum holds everything from early electrical instruments to fossils and minerals. The art collection includes a lot of works from Dutch artists, though we were mainly taken by this portrait of a cool baby. And at the center of it all, literally, is the Oval Room. It's the first part of the museum, originally built for public lectures and scientific demonstrations. The museum has kept detailed records since the 1700s of everything from purchases to meeting notes to visitor books, so obviously we had to sign the guest book. So the museum was very nice, very strange collection. Like just very, very all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, it was
but everything was really well done.
Yeah, it was really well done. Everything was part of his personal collection, or a lot of it was. So that's why it was kind of like hodgepodge.
What would your personal collection be? So when you die, what are you gonna leave?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
Mine would be early 2000s pop punk records.
Yeah, yours really would be. Mine would be a collection of kitschy socks.
You only have like one pair of kitschy socks.
You gotta start somewhere.
That's all you've got?
I think that's all I've got. What would you say mine would be then?
Clutter.
Mine would be a hoarder's museum.
She loves clutter.
I'm a little messy.
She's a little messy.
I love eating at places where it's impossible for me to decide what to get. And that's why we're grabbing brunch at Hare of the Dog.
So this place is called Hare of the Dog. It's H-A-R-E, but I did look it up, and the like hangover cure thing is Hair of the Dog, H-A-I-R, and I don't know why it's called Hare of the Dog, like the rabbit. It's very confusing, but I don't think I'm gonna get an answer to that today. The menu here is super interesting. We're trying to decide between a Taiwanese pancake, a rendang bagel, and they've got a jackfruit version of it, and a Reuben. Dankjewel.
Thanks.
Do you guys like it spicy?
Yes. All right, what do we have here?
We have a Taiwanese pancake, which is egg, green onion, corn, cheese, and a little bit of bacon. This looks amazing. Oh, I also forgot to mention that there's Taiwanese soy sauce on top. All right, first bite.
Yeah.
Is that no? Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay, the reason why I shook my head in the beginning was because initially it tasted like pizza, which was very confusing for me. However, that faded quickly, and this is so good. It tastes like an omelet with ham and corn in it. However, it's leveled up because the outside of it is this like crispy pancake layer, which just gives you this like nice salty crunch. You gotta get into this. This is so good.
The ham, like with the soy sauce, the caramelly soy sauce flavor.
I think I've realized why my bite tasted so much like pizza is my first piece was sitting on top of this sun-dried tomato.
This is exactly why they shouldn't put salads on plates.
Yeah.
It's all risk, no
it's
reward.
It's confusing me, and it confused you too, but now we know the answer to
No,
it.
I think mine was the texture.
Really?
Pizza, like a pizza crust bottom.
Mine was
It
definitely the
didn't taste
flavor.
like pizza, though.
Mine tasted exactly like pizza.
Okay. Do you think pizza's like pineapple?
Huh? Like upside down?
No. What would an upside down pizza mean on like someone's t-shirt or like a cruise ship door?
But how would you ever know it was upside down?
No, I'm saying okay, don't worry about that part. What would it mean? What would it indicate?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it.
How many stroop waffles?
5. It was great.
Yeah. We were also really hungry, but I would say it was actually objectively a 5 stroop waffle meal.
It would have been 5 even if I was full.
Okay, it's time for a completely random story. I was just walking down the street and I remembered on the flight that we took here, when we moved here on KLM, we chatted it up with the purser of the flight. He was very nice. I believe his name is Boris. He asked why we were traveling with cats, because I'm sure that's pretty weird. And we told him we were moving to the Netherlands, and he asked us where we were moving, and we listed Haarlem. And I specifically remember that he said not to move to Haarlem because it was really inconvenient to get a Skippel at the time. He could tell, I think, that we were stressed because we were traveling with 2 cats. And I told him that our cats normally like sitting in business class because they like to get the KLM houses, and I was totally joking because, you know, I actually don't think KLM allows pets ever in business class. But at the end of the flight, he did bring 1 KLM house back. He said our cats had to share it because there was only 1 left over. And that was so nice. And then also when we landed, he said, like, whether, you know, Amsterdam is your final destination or if you're moving here, something that was so nice. Morris, if you're out there, you're the best. We remember you. And we bought your book.
The owner of Good Bear Cookies is from France and has always had a passion for baking and bears. And good? So yeah, Good Bear Cookies. I was actually a little hesitant to put this place on our list for today because the best cookies that we've ever had in the Netherlands are from a local spot in Dordrecht called Food Nerd, and I'm just not really sure if anything else can stack up against it.
All right, what'd we get?
I was completely overwhelmed, so I asked her which one was the most popular, and she said it changes every day. So then I was like, okay, well, which one is your favorite? And she said all of them. So we went with the Kung Fu Matcha, which is a matcha cookie with milk chocolate, and a bit more of a classic option, which is your regular chocolate chip cookie, except it has milk, white, and dark chocolate inside of it.
Oh, baby.
Ooh.
We love a soft cookie.
Look at that. The outside is crispy, but not crunchy. The inside is soft, but still baked through. And the mix of the white chocolate.
I love when they do that.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, really?
I love when you get all the white milk and dark chocolate flavors together. Mm-hmm. It's like my favorite.
Yeah, it's like the perfect mix of like something that's super sweet and then you get a little bit of the dark chocolate and it's kind of like bitter. This is a pretty good cookie.
I'm a little skeptical of this one.
Wow.
I don't really think milk chocolate and matcha go together. Mm-hmm. Matcha and white chocolate, yeah. But milk chocolate, green.
So green.
It's healthy.
Yeah, this is like spinach, right?
Yeah. A lot of matcha.
Mm-hmm. I do appreciate that I don't think the cookie itself has a lot of sugar in it. Mm-hmm. It's like very heavy on just the matcha flavoring because she knows that the milk chocolate is so sweet.
I actually don't get much chocolate flavor with this. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of matcha flavor, which I love. I love matcha. If you like matcha, you'd love this cookie.
You'd love this cookie.
If you're iffy on matcha, you would hate this cookie.
I think we rate them together, right?
Sure.
4.5 stroopwafels.
Together? Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, you don't agree?
Well, I guess we'll never know.
This is Windmill de Adriaan, and it was actually built on top of a tower foundation, making it taller than most windmills. It was built in 1779, and here's some sad news. It burned down in 1932. However, this is, I guess, a recreation of it because it was rebuilt in 2002. This is the Amsterdamse poort. It's from the 14th century, and it is the only remaining city gate. There used to be 14. And this is something that we forgot in our first Haarlem video, and I almost forgot it again until Alex reminded me about it. Thanks, Alex. I think this is it. Wow.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. We're at the Proveniershuis, and this is one of 22 hofjes in Haarlem. A hofje was generally a form of social welfare in the Netherlands where if you were older, mostly older women, would come here to retire. However, this hofje is a little different because this one was actually purchased by like upper middle class folks, and they would come here in their later stages of life. And this one's actually used today still, which I think some of them aren't.
It's interesting because we actually walked around the block a few times trying to find the entrance, and at the front there's a door that looks like all of the other external doors that go to people's homes around the hofje. And it said that visitors are welcome here between 10 and 5. And we walked through the door and this is what we found, which is absolutely incredible. I can't believe this is open to the public. Michelle, you know what I just realized we haven't done in our 3 years in the Netherlands?
What?
We've never been inside of a coffee shop.
We have never been inside of a coffee shop.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I guess it is kind of crazy.
I mean, I know it is like a kind of more of a tourist thing, but it's just crazy we've lived here this long and not a single toe. There's a cat.
Hi. Oh my God, there are a million cats in there. It's someone's house, but trust us, there are a million cats in there.
Or I see them in the window.
Oh, you get to be outside and they stay inside.
He was waiting to figure out if we were cool or not.
We're cool? All right, back to coffee shops.
You also haven't worked in the window in the red light district.
No, I haven't. Which one do you think we should do first?
Which red light district?
No.
Probably the one in
Coffee shop
Groningen.
or
It's quiet. I don't think it worries so much about like the traffic, the amount of
it's a
people,
bit
you
more
know.
like local, you
Yeah,
know. It's got chill vibes. Yeah, less touristy. All right, let's do it. Well, I mean, I guess it's not really like a let's thing.
No, I get a cut, right?
Now we're like getting into a situation where, I mean, my money is your money. Your money is my money. So
Do I
in that sense,
at least get a discount?
well, you get it for free, baby.
Okay, we have acquired sandwiches from one of our favorite restaurants in the Netherlands, and we're looking for a nice, cozy spot to sit. Okay, the spot is kind of cozy.
Yeah, it's
We're right
nice.
by the canal, sitting on some stairs, and we're next to a street.
Admittedly, I don't actually know a lot about Jamon Jamon, except that they have delicious sandwiches. You can also pick up meats and mezes to go, along with a big selection of wine. We got a brocho with serrano ham, parmesan, pesto, and pomodoro, which I think is sort of like their tomato tapenade.
It doesn't look like much, but it is so good.
Every ingredient on this sandwich is 10 of 10.
This rivals some of the sandwiches that we've had in Spain, which I know is controversial,
Ooh.
but like whatever they're doing here, like the stuff they put on it, they are like, it's top notch.
I mean, like, can I?
Yeah, you can take a bite.
Okay. Honestly, this sandwich doesn't even need the pesto or the parmesan. Having this delicious baguette with just the serrano ham on it is delicious enough.
But that's basic.
That is basic. You can't get that.
But they make that next level because they put that stuff on it. It makes it so like, it's kind of moist.
And you get like a pop of flavor. Oh,
Yeah, the pesto is a very nice addition to this. The oil's great, cheese is cheesy.
and look at all this meat that they put on it. They're not like skimping on it. This sandwich was only $6.50.
Shut up.
I'm eating the most delicious sandwich of my life. I'm happy. We have made our way to Frietkamer, a snack shop with 4.9 stars on Google with over 900 reviews. This might be the most highly rated snack bar in the Netherlands.
Oh, so close.
The Netherlands.
There you go.
Maybe.
Okay, so when I looked at the menu in this place, in addition to fries, they also sell kroketten from Holtkamp, which is a place that y'all have recommended to us so many times. They sell kroketten in Amsterdam. We have not made it there yet, obviously. In the meantime, we'll have to settle for trying it at the snack bar in Haarlem. So we got the kalfsvlees kroket, which is veal.
Veal.
Oh, I need to put mustard on it.
Look
Ready?
at it though. It's like super like crunchy looking on the outside.
It's true. That's what you want.
It's got a big crumb.
What did you say when I was getting the food slow-mo shot of it?
I don't know. That it's short and fat.
Do you prefer your kroketten to be short and fat or long and skinny?
I love all kroketten. Show me the inside.
Oh, very hot.
Are you?
I made me fail to have this shot. This is delicious. This is, hold on. I chew on the meat chunks. That's right. There are literal meat chunks in this. It's not just a like mostly ragu croquette, which is very important to me. It's also not super salty. It does have a very good veal flavor to it. And wow, it is crunchy. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is probably the best croquette that I've ever had in the Netherlands, with the exception of one thing. Say it with me.
Krokettenkunst.
That's right.
You said that having meat chunks in a croquette is important to you. On a list of overall important things, where does it rank? Like is it in the top 10, like in your life? Or before we try the fries, we didn't really talk about the menu of this place. The menu's actually kind of small. So they mostly specialize in frites with sauce. They have like a specialty one with lots of different toppings and then a small menu of croquetten. I got
with a lot of vegetarian options.
Oh yeah, they do have a lot of vegetarian options. I got the frietje with jazz sauce.
Are you sure it wasn't?
It wasn't just sauce, it was jazz
okay.
sauce. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think it is? It definitely has
It looks
the
like
color.
cheese sauce.
I was thinking it had the color of samurai sauce, but then it also has some red and like green flecks.
I'm sorry, it looks dead ass like queso. What are you talking about?
Oh, it does.
It looks exactly like it's got like, it looks like queso, like 100%.
Do you think it's just queso?
No,
Oh, it's sweet.
it's gonna be tangy.
It's sweet, it's tangy. It's
No.
got like,
Okay, yeah, it is. I thought it was going to be like primarily tangy, but it's primarily sweet, but you're right, it is a little tangy.
it's mostly sweet. a little tangy, and it just has like a little bit of prickly spice and an underlying garlic flavor.
What do you think it is?
I have no idea. I'm gonna go ask them.
Well,
It's a secret recipe. They wouldn't tell me. Their lips are sealed. The only thing that the owner told me was that there are 11 different spices in it. And he said that most people can guess the first 3, but after that, they don't know. Okay, look at the fries. They are so crispy, crunchy on the outside. They have a little bit of skin, and they're really, really good. Perfectly cooked. Like, there is not one bad fry in this cone that I found anyway.
I get why they're 4.9 stars. I don't think I would pick the sauce again, but I don't dislike it. It's just a little sweet.
I would always get these fries though.
The fries are amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, we've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and we just forgot to rate the fries and the croquette. Croquette, I'd say, 4.5 stroopwafels, because it was a perfect croquette, but I don't think for me a croquette could ever be 5 stroopwafels unless it's from, let's all say it together,
Kroket and Kunst
in Emmen.
The fries?
Yeah.
Okay, if I were rating the fries on their own, they would be 5 stroopwafels.
Okay, but what with the jazz sauce?
With the jazz sauce, 4 stroopwafels.
Oh yeah, you didn't like the jazz sauce so much?
No, it really wasn't my thing. It was a little too sweet for me.
I would have rated it higher. Speaking of things I would have rated higher, we are back. So that time we went in and we met with one of the owners. We actually did unknowingly meet with one of the other owners earlier. It sounds like his girlfriend started it, and then he also is, working there. And yeah, it's just they were really, really nice. And they gave us an extra cookie.
Yay!
So they buttered us up. Not because we were vloggers, but because I said how much I love matcha. I got the exact same cookie that I got earlier because I would have rated it 5 stroopwafels because it was probably the best matcha cookie I've ever had, not just since moving here. It is delicious. Very good cookies. Other than Good Bear cookies, what was the best thing about Haarlem today?
Hemon.
Yeah.
That sandwich slaps every single time.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what you get there. It's going to be delectable.
Have you ever gotten something else there?
Yeah, I feel like we get a different thing every time unintentionally.
That's true.
Because
I can't ever remember what we got the last time.
Yeah, but it's always 5 stroopwafels, no matter what.
Yeah, it is. It's a good place to get a sandwich.
What about you?
I like the fries and the jazz sauce a lot.
Y'all, there is still so much more to do in Haarlem that we didn't get a chance to get to today, like Museum of the Mind and De Dakus, which is this amazing restaurant that's on the rooftop of a parking garage.
Allegedly.
Allegedly
amazing. We haven't been there yet.
We haven't seen it yet. We haven't tried it yet. So if you want to see us do a round 2, or I guess technically a round 3, be sure to give this video a like.
And as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next one.
Ta-da!